Shalom, brothers and sisters. All honor, glory, and praises goes to the Most High Yahweh in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. All praises for this beautiful day the Most High have made for us. And I pray that when you woke up, you lifted your hands up to the Most High and thanked Him for opening your eyes and give you another day to live in. Brothers and sisters, some of you need to know how I was awakened, and I'm about to tell you. So strap down and listen up. In 2011, the Most High came to me after a tragedy. And you know, sometimes it's always after tragedies he gets our attention, right? So he got my attention. Not that he caused the tragedy, but after the tragedy we go to him for his attention. That's what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, I heard a calling. It was in my spirit. A calling to open up his book and start studying. And so you know what I did? I went up typing online. I went trying to find a theologian school. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to learn from one of these online organizations. Then he was like, no, that's not what I want you to do. So after I signed up, y'all know rebellious Zion, and I tried to get into studying, I couldn't. I just couldn't. Then I said, okay, I can hear you. I hear you, Father. So I left that alone, and then started studying on my own, because the Most High said, no, I want to teach you. And I understood that, and so I started reading the scriptures from scratch. And that was the beginning of 2012. And the Most High allowed Satan to shift me like wheat after that, because I came across the pre-trib rapture group. And I'm telling y'all, they are a trip. There's nothing but snares and traps and lies and deceptions in this group, but I had to go through it. I know I hardly tell this, but it's being told now. So when I came across preacher rapture people having dreams, visions, word from the Lord and all stuff like that, I start seeing some inconsistencies. I started to see lies, false prophecies being told. So I could never settle in. The Most High wouldn't allow me to just settle in to the group. Something was always wrong, but he had to let me see that. So in the middle of 2012, in the summer, I came across my first Hebrew Israelite video. Kind of brushed it off. Thought maybe, that could be true. But then the standard John 3:16 came to my mind and pushed it off. Y'all know how Christians do. And so I'm continuing to read and study. Then as I'm coming across certain things, like Leviticus chapter 11, I'm like, well, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be eating all this stuff. Wait, I moved too fast. Something happened before that one. Okay. Before I really understood the food part, right around the middle of September 2012, when I finally understood that we had to do the Sabbath day, I was like, what? We supposed to be, wait a minute. The Sabbath day is not Sunday? Wait a minute. And it sunk in, and I was like, okay, well, I'm supposed to do the Sabbath day. So the first day that I celebrated the Sabbath day, that very first day, I prepared some food. Now, mind y'all, I still haven't gotten a proper understanding of the things that I'm not supposed to eat yet. Now, the Most High working with me, He's long suffering with me. He's winking at that. He knows that He's gonna, He knows my end result. So He's working with me on this. So my first Sabbath day, I prepared a meal that Friday, and I started celebrating that Friday night, because I understood that the Most High Day started from Friday, in the evening, and ended in the day. So I celebrated that, and I went to sleep, and guess what? Hamashiach came to me. He anointed me on my forehead, and He wrote His name across it. And I woke up, and I was praising Him, and I knew exactly what happened and what took place. It was like the very instant after that happened, I was up, and I started worshiping and praising Him. And I didn't find out what happened until later on, as I got closer to reading this part, and I understood what happened. It says right here in Revelations chapter 3, verse 12. Well, verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of the Most High Yahuah, and he shall go out. He shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Elohim, and the name of the city of my Elohim, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my Elohim, and I will write upon him my new name. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that until later on. The following year, actually, when I finally came across this part, and it said, so that's what happened to me that day. And I understood it. But now that's right around the time of the Feast of the Trumpets. So as I'm reading in the book, and I understand, okay, these feast days, we have to do the feast days too. The other feast days, right? So I missed the Feast of Trumpets. I just missed the Day of Atonement and the Feast of Tabernacles was coming up. So I got prepared for that. I didn't have a tent or nothing, so I made a makeshift tent out of 2 house speakers and a sheet and a chair underneath it in the garage. And everybody thought I lost my mind in the house. Now this is when I was with my ex, who is the mother of my child. And she have 3 other kids as well. And her mom just happened to be visiting. And later on, I found out she thought I was losing my mind. She didn't say nothing to me. She didn't even ask me what I was doing. She didn't ask no questions or nothing. Just instantly went to, oh, he's losing his mind. I would happily answered what I was doing if they would have asked. So, just as that was ending, my birthday was coming up, October 10th, right? So that ended. October 10th come around, my birthday, day of birth. Now, I just stopped celebrating birthdays because I found out what they was, where they was from, and I told everybody in the house that I ain't doing birthdays no more. I ain't celebrating them. They didn't care. They just didn't want to hear nothing. So that day, I heard a voice say, "Marry me first." I knew who it was, and I looked around looking, because it was audible, like right there. I'm looking around, okay, nobody around there. I walked out the room, looked around, okay, no one running away. But anyway, how would they cast their voice like that next to me? So I knew, and I was like, okay, let me think about this. I said, yes, I'll marry you. I'll marry you. And it's been on ever since. So that's part of my wake-up call. Now, later on in 2013, now this is all 2012, and I'm doing a lot of fasting and praying at this time too. And all through 2013, whole lot of fasting and praying. I mean a whole lot. More than average. And I'm reading the script, but I'm still a part of the pre-trib Baptist group, and I'm starting to understand all the things that's wrong with them. And then the Most High had a Hebrew move in next door to me. After I left the situation I was in, I left at the end of 2012 and ended up moving in with my mom. And thank the Most High, our house sold in March 2013. And that was a blessing there, to get that off our back. And that summer, a Hebrew moved in next door, and then he started showing me different things, talked to me about different things, and then I went churchianity on him with John 3:16 and all. Y'all know how the Hebrews do. Christians do before they convert. Not convert, come back to their true heritage and culture. So it kind of hurt his heart. But guess what? When things kept going wrong with the pre-trib Baptist group, the Most High said, kept pointing it out to me. And then at the end of, beginning of 2014, that's when I came across one of Brother Bowie's videos, and I was awake from there. Of who we are, our culture, our heritage, everything. And Brother Bowie's with the Israel of God Church out there in Chicago. And that's how I woke up to who we was. And you see how the steps the Most High took, and then finally he introduced me to who we was. He does it differently with everyone. But right around that summer, I came across the New Age movement. Y'all know how the New Age is sneaking it. It snuck its way into Christianity, but it's also sneaking its way into the Hebrew awakening, because some of the Hebrews are actually talking about frequencies and being star children and star childs. And yeah, I came across that movement, and quickly, just as quick as I came across it, quickly, it's just as quick as I left it. But also in 2013, something else happened. In my spirit, I heard the Most High tell me, and it was him this time. Not that I heard an audible voice, but it was just like to my spirit. I know you. And that's what came to me. And I was like, Most High, you know me? Because I remember how Mashiach said, to those who think they knew him, get away from me. I never knew you. And so I was just ecstatic about that, just worshiping and praising him and everything. And it was wonderful. And that year was the year I fell in love with him and HaMashiach. When I understood the beautiful love story of the Holy Scriptures to Yahusha, his wife, his bride, his return wife and return bride. And when I understood that, it just took my heart. Been in love with him ever since. But not that he wasn't going to continue to shape and mold me and punish me for things that I've done and purge me out and cleanse me. You know, there are things that I've done in the past that has a long-lasting effect, such as messing with a married woman again after I told him I wouldn't do it again, and I did it again. And it happened to be my baby mama. And that turned out so bad. I mean, Satan was cut loose so hard to bring destruction into my life that I lost my daughter in the process. And I understood why, and I don't blame the Most High at all. I understood it was my doing, my choice, my decision, and my rebellion that caused it. And to this day, we cannot pick up where we left off. We can't put it together. And he's not allowing it for now. Not that it can't happen in the future. I just don't know if he's ever gonna let that happen, because she was also born in fornication as well, a child of whoredom. Now, if I would have married her, it maybe would have been a little bit different. But anyway, back to my awakening. So the Most High is dealing with me. He's waking me up. He's sending me to different people as well. And I notice things. You know, I got a good discernment for noticing attitudes and behaviors in people. Even just by looking at their eyes, it's like things about them will come to me. Being a good discerner is a gift as well. And he had me go through the Chicago camps first, and I outgrew them. Then I went through the One West camps in New York, outgrew them, and then I came across these other organizations, learned from them. And you know, it's like every camp has something true to tell, but they have lies mixed in with it too. It's a whole lot of them out there too. But some of them just don't know the rest of the story. So not all of them are bad. And I'm coming across a whole lot of Hebrews who don't understand the basic gospel itself. They don't understand the basics of the Bible. They don't understand the basics of Yahusha, and they don't understand the basics of the converted Gentiles, where they fit in. They're being destroyed and deceived by a whole lot of people. First, they was already being destroyed by the great whore, the great whore churches that we came out of. Then they awoke to come into some more Hebrew whoredom and believe no matter in doctrine, like Esau is the Arabs, and Esau is not just the Arabs. Yes, Esau is blended with the Arabs, but he's a small group. He's at the top, reigning and ruling over there. But the true Arabs is the Ishmaelites and the children of Keturah. They was the first ones to blend together according to the scriptures. If you study yourself approved, you would know this. They blended themselves together as one nation first. They were called Arabs first. But Esau started blending with them later on. Just as Esau mixed with all these other nations, but Esau also mixed with Chittim, became one nation with him, and he mostly became one nation with Japheth. They have been confederate with them for a long time. Esau has always ruled over Japheth for thousands and thousands of years. Not always, but mostly for thousands and thousands of years. Esau became a champion to Japheth, to the Greeks, to the Romans. And he became strong in that. He took on who they are. Like, he became a Roman. He became a Greek. He became an Ashkenazi. Just like we became Americans, he became that. Their people. And this is how Esau disappeared and stopped calling himself Esau and Edom and by most of his names, but a lot of them still call themselves dukes and lords over there in France and Europe, throughout Europe. Dukes and lords and sirs. You got to really study these things. And then you have those who believe Joseph is the daddy. They calling Joseph a fornicator and Mary a whore because they couldn't wait to get married, and they conceived that child before marriage. No. But the main reason I believe that because they are children of the flesh and they don't believe in the power of the Most High. You got the groups out there saying that only Yahusha can be saved. Only the Israelites. No other nations. No one else. Deceived out of their cotton-picking minds. This is what happened. You are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You have to study yourself to be approved. You know, I have some people who come to my channel and they'll dispute what I'm saying. Then they'll post a video from somebody else presenting their evidence, and I'm like, won't you go study yourself approved, then make your video and then show me. Don't show me nobody else's video that they made for you to believe in, and then you come trying to convert me to wickedness. I've had enough of that in the Church of Catholicism and Christianity all my life, and I came out of that. I'm not going back. I'm not going to Hebrewanity either. You know, these Hebrews are rising right now, still want to hold on to the traditions of churchianity within their churches, preaching like them, teaching like them, keeping the traditions alive in them, still eating pork and all manner of things, participating in the unholy holidays as well, but preaching and teaching who they are as the children of the Most High. You got to be careful who you're listening to. Especially if they're all flamboyant, and they're going to be the first to fall due to pride. See, pride comes before the fall. It happens every time. And I see Hebrews falling left and right. Some of them fell and they still on here teaching and preaching. And they're getting worse and worse. Remember, the righteous is going to get more righteouser. Did I say that right? And the wicked is going to get wickeder. So now you heard a little bit extra I always give a little extra. You heard my wake-up calling. You heard a lot of things that happened to me on how the Most High called me. And I kind of know what my job is going to be because I started practicing early on. And I told some of them stories on my channel about the demon battles I done had for quite some time. And they know. I mean, I done seen demons scared of me in my dream. When I look at them and they like frozen in fear. But now that they got legions upon legions trying to attack me, I mean, there's more powerful ones here. I had a real powerful one come one night. Took off running when I jumped up, and all I saw was a silhouette of like a clearness leaving the room. That actually happened twice to me before. Remember the first time I saw clearness leaving when back in 2002, when I moved out of one of my friends' apartments into my own place. And it so happened that I wasn't awake yet now. I was into the what you call it, out of body experience stuff. And I came out of my body, and then something slammed me right back in it. And I woke up. Now that may not even been a demon, but what I saw leaving was clear. It was like clearness leaving, and I jumped under my bed. I tried to follow it, and it was gone. And then I saw, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to tell all this. let me go on with it anyway, since I'm talking. The next time that happened, this time I felt the power of great evil. Now, I decided to move my fan in front of my door to blow some of the cool air into my room, because my room wasn't designed right, so it stays a little bit hotter than normal. And even though I put a fan on it in the room on me, and at the time I couldn't afford to run up my bill like that, but so I put a fan right by the front of my door, blowing the air in. And I don't know why that had to been the night that this thing had to show up. And it came, and it was like messing with me in my dream. And I know it was saying something about Yahuah in that dream when I woke up, you know, rebuking it in the name of Yahuah. And I woke up and I felt the evil power. It was legion. It wasn't just one. It was like there was a whole lot of them. Very, very powerful. And it took off running. Because I had some experiences where I actually fought, and it's very different. It's not like fighting in this world. I fought them, and it was like it was so, I mean, a legion of them. It was different. And that's in my JC days, and I start calling upon the name of JC. It's about the 7th time he didn't come. I was like, what? And then I called. I said, Michael. And I said, Michael again. And then, boom, he came and got me out of there quick. And I woke up, and I was like, I called JC 7 times. What happened? Michael was on his way by the 2nd time he was there. Now I know what happened. Because I also had a dream one time of this JC Caucasian character wearing Roman garb, shiny, with the glowing cross behind them, golden glowing cross with the sun behind it. It looked like a sun, but it was a bright light behind it. And later on I figured out who that really was. And it wasn't the Most High's Son, I tell you that much. But I have other experience when I was battling demons. I was actually taken into some type of world. Their world, I don't know how, but when I looked around me, there's all these red eyes looking at me, like thousands upon thousands. And I went Goku on them. I went, oh, my hand started lighting up, and I put my hand out, and my hand was glowing, and it went through the crowd. There was a white light that showed up in the crowd. It didn't just shoot out my hand or nothing. It showed up in the crowd, and it started dispersing them. So I don't know if that was an angel show up or whatever. And as I moved my hand across, they was dispersing, and then the big one came and grabbed me and threw me back into my body. And when I woke up, I looked down at the end of my bed, and there was darkness with these eyes in it fading away. I'm talking about some big eyes. I don't know if you ever seen The Evil Dead when that beast came through the portal and was looking at him. That might have been the wrong movie I'm thinking about. It's one of them crazy movies in the past. But anyway, the darkness was it, and it was the darkness. And these eyes were big and red, and they was fading away. Now this was back in 2004. This is way before my awakening, and all these things are happening. And I just called him the big one because he was very much the big one, more powerful than the rest. Kind of like if you ever saw Spawn, when Spawn went into hell, and you had all these little soldier demons, but then the big one that they called Yahuah showed up. It was like that. He was like that huge and that big, and he threw me back. It's crazy. So I had a lot of experiences with battling these things, and it's like I'm being prepared for that final battle when we are called up in the air and changed for that final battle. So that's what the Most High has put in my spirit to know and understand about my final mission. And it's been showing throughout my whole life. I mean, my goodness. One time I was driving trucks, and I was about to have an accident. The Most High let me know in my dream that I was going to have an accident, that he was going to be there with me. And he let me see it. And as I was climbing up that mountain, where was it? In Oregon. And coming down, I knew it was coming. I said, here it comes. It's like unavoidable or something. And I came down at the end of the mountain, in the snow, ice on the road and everything, right? Crawling, going real slow. So I said, let me pass up this guy in front of me, because he was doing like 25. I wanted to do 30. Big mistake. That's when it happened. Soon as I got into that left-hand lane, my trailer hit some ice, or maybe I got too close to the side of the road, and next thing you know, my trailer was taken into the medium of the road, and I flipped all the way around. I did a 180. No harm to me at all. My partner flew off the bunk. He was all right though. He got a little hurt, but he just had a few things fall on him. But he was all right. But back to the dream. In the dream, the Most High showed me, I guess that was the angel's foot, but the foot was the size of the 18-wheeler itself. I mean my truck part, from the snout to the back tires of my truck, not the trailer part, but just the truck net. The foot itself was that size, and as I was driving, I looked out the right hand side of the window and I saw the foot, but it, you know, it was a foot with a sandal, with some sandals on it. And I don't know what that represented besides an angel, or maybe that represented the Most High. But anyway, the angel was there. The Most High showed me that he was going to be here. And that was one huge angel looking after me. And I had this angel with me all my life. And I can go on and on with a whole lot of different things I woke up to when I realized all the things the Most High has done that kept me safe. Kept me out of harm, even through the midst of sin. He was there, long suffering with me. But I just hope I can be a help to all of you out there, assist you with building your walk with the Most High. That's my job. I'm not here to, let's say, be your main teacher or a prophet or anything like that. I'm here to assist you come before the Most High and you build your own personal relationship with him so that he can sup with you, that he will reveal himself to you as he revealed himself to me, as the Messiah revealed himself to me. Why? Because the scriptures say he would reveal himself to you. He will reveal himself to those who are his. And eventually when you wake up to this fact, you will look back and see how he has revealed himself and kept himself kept you protected all this time. Okay, I'm approaching 40 minutes. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the notification bell for future videos that I'm going to upload. And look out for much, much more on this channel. Shalom.